There we go. All right. I think I'm live. I think I'm live. I'm live. Okay, but we also want... Okay, I can't read comments, but that's okay. I'm alive, and I believe I am totally live this time on Facebook and YouTube. So welcome to my sewing room. I'm Sandy, and I'm here to do tips and tricks Thursday with you on our Facebook and our YouTube live. Isn't that exciting? I would like to apologize to all the people who were on YouTube on Tuesday when I had a malfunction. And unfortunately, the Tuesday show did not show up on Facebook. So I do apologize. That was not meant to. And I'm hoping that we're doing good today. I just can't read video. I can't see the comments, but I'm hoping everybody is wonderful on this beautiful Thursday day. And I'd like to thank you very much, all of you, for always liking us, loving us, sharing us to the world, and your comments. And good morning, Ruth. I see someone's on Facebook. I just can't read the comments on YouTube, but I'm hoping that someone is there. Anyways, I just want to say a couple of other things. I have been asking everyone to go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube page, which is mysewingroom.ca, and it's DOTCA. And I've been begging for 10,000 subscriptions, and I don't know when it happened, but I checked yesterday, and thank you. We have made 10,000 subscriptions. Woo! Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. I am thrilled that you guys were so generous with your time, watching us, subscribing to mysewingroom.ca. It is a pleasure to come here and visit with you 3 times a week, and it's just great. Thank you so very much. All right, and I do have a few shout outs today, and I see that Ruth C is already on the line, so hi Ruth. Shout out to Tina B, Michelle G, Sandy W, Maureen C, Vicky S, skip over Ruth, we said Ruth already, Glenda I, Carol D, Sandy A, Helen O, because Helen's always watching on YouTube. So hi Helen, Jean J, Mary Z, Rita B, Peggy N, Laurel A. And yesterday we had some very fun visitors to the store who also watch us, and I'm not sure if it's on Facebook or YouTube, but they watch recorded. So I just wanted to make a special shout out to them and hope they watch this recording and hear themselves. It's to Marion and Cheryl W. Thanks for coming to visit us at the store. We had a great time with you, and we hope you'll come back and visit with us again. All right, so yes, it is a pleasure not only to be on Facebook, but also to be able to work at my sewing room and see everyone who comes in to visit with us and buy things and get what they need. And hopefully everybody is well served and looked after. All right, so that's our greetings and our shout outs. So let's get on with Tips and Tricks Thursday about needles and thread. All right, so needles. Oh my goodness. I borrowed Max's big needle from the display downstairs. He's got 2, so he said I could have one. So this is what a big needle looks like. Well, if you have a huge sewing machine, maybe if you're Friendly Giant and you have a big sewing machine, this would be the one you'd use. But I just wanted to let you know that this thing has names and parts, and I laughed. It has a butt. This is the butt. And the butt is a beveled end, which allows easy insertion into the needle bar. And for Schmetz needles and with the Bernina ones that we use in our Bernina and Burnett and Brother sewing machines, they actually have a flat back and a round front. And I know then that the flat back part goes to the back side and slides up, and we tighten it in our needle bar. That's what I know. Anyways, I do know that part. But then they go on to tell me, but besides the butt and the flat and the blade, it has a shank, which is this part right here that is round at the front and flat at the back, which is cool. Then it also has a shoulder, and it's where the blade starts sloping into transition between the shank and blade. And this is a blade. Believe it or not, that's a blade. And this blade's got a little bit of a line in it. It's got a groove, and that groove cradles and guides the thread. And then there's the eye of the needle. I remember a book not long ago and a movie called Eye of the Needle about spies. So anyways, but there's the eye of the needle. I'm quite sure our sewing machine is not spying on us. Now, the scarf is the indentation above the eye that allows the bob and hook, right there, to smoothly grab the thread underneath the throat and pull it up and make a really nice point. And then, of course, is the eye where the thread passes through, and then they have that point right on the end. And of course, the length, shape, and size will vary by needle type. So I thought, hey, we just got a restock of needles, so let's just remind you about all the different needle parts that we carry. Okay, I like that part. Okay, all right. In the meanwhile, I'd like to, it's so sunny and absolutely gorgeous out here. I just need to ask you, what do scientists who study the sun have? How about a flair for research? All right, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to a few other things, but let's go over and talk about needles. Needles. All right, well, I am one of those girls that loves my universal needles, and that's this package here, and they come in many different sizes. There's a 70-10, 80-12, 68, 6-8, and 90-14. So it comes in quite a variety of sizes, and I'm always good for using universals on most every project that I do. They are a general, all-purpose needle. It does work with numerous fabrics, especially wovens and knits as well. So, and of course, most of our cotton is woven. So they are a great needle. And I just love them. And of course, when I say 60-8, 70-10, 80-12, and 90-14, those are the sizes of the needles. And there's two numbering systems because we have one and somebody else has one, and in order to be accommodating to both sizes, 60, 70, 80, 90 are what we usually go by, but the other series is 8, 10, 12, 14. So there's two different numbering systems, but they mean the same thing, 60-8 or 70-10 or 80-12 or 90-14. So these are a great all-purpose needle that, as I say, they got a slightly rounded point, and you can use them for a number of different projects. Okay. All right. Okay. So most of us, or some of us, are embroiderers. Okay. So embroidery needles, Schmetz, I just brought Schmetz, but you know that we have Bernina as well, and they do the same thing. So the sizes we have are 75-11 and 90-14. Their color band around the top, as you can see, is red, and these are light ballpoint, wide eyes, and groove. So you use them for rayon, polyester, specialty embroidery threads, because the scarf part is widened in the groove and enlarged eyes to protect fragile threads and guard against excessive friction, allowing trouble-free embroidery and decorative stitches. So these are embroidery needles, great for our sewing machines. Just depends on what thread you're using, whether you can get away with a 75-11 or if you need a 90-14. The heavier the thread, the bigger the needles and bigger the eye. So they don't recommend in all of this cotton for doing our embroidery, just because of all of the number of stitches that pound down into your sewing machine. It will fray the thread. So they're talking about really nice rayons and polyesters and specialty embroidery threads. All right, so that's embroidery. Woohoo! We do that. We like that. Fun stuff. Okay, joke for you. Why does Mercury always need burn ointments? Because he's always getting sunburnt. These are good sunny jokes, aren't they? All right, what's next? Let's talk about jeans needles. Okay, so jeans needles, we have a variety of them. They come in 80-12, 90-14, and 116. They're also a 110-18, but I didn't have any out there. Their bands are blue, so if you're using Schmetz, those are blue. They really look green to me, but hey, maybe I'm colorblind. This is a moderate, or a modified, should say, medium ballpoint with reinforced blade. That means it can handle being put through a lot of stiff denim or canvas or things that are kind of heavier duty. They are for penetrating extra thick woven fabrics, denims, especially for quilts too, with minimum needle deflection, and reduces the risk of needle breakage and skipped stitches. So these are really good for those heavier projects, especially if you're working on your jeans or your bags, like canvas bags, or working with many layers of bag material and stuff like that. So those are the jean needles. Kind of fun. Love those as well. Okay. All right. What else have we got? We have, did I bring a lot of, what else do I have on my list here? I have Jersey ballpoint needles. So the ones we carry are the 80-12s and the 90-14s. These are medium ballpoint. They're good for knits and some stretches. And especially for sewing on knits, the medium ballpoint does not damage or break the knitted fibers. So kind of fun. I don't work with these a lot. I don't do a lot of clothes sewing. So the only time I might run into these is if maybe I was making an animal project, like a stuffy, or we made scrunchies at one time using that. All right. So anyways, those are Jersey ballpoints. Next is leather. And I only found one size of leather. Maybe we only carry it, but it's 80-12. Now, Schmetz tells me they also have a 94 or 90-14 and 100/12. The feature of this is cutting point. So their points are sharp. They're good for leather, artificial leather, heavy non-woven synthetics. So you don't use these on knits or woven because they will actually cut the thread. Whereas if you use the Jersey ballpoint, it works its way through it. This just pokes right through it. So that's for leather. Yay! So bags and any other leather clothing you might be making. All right, metallic. Ooh, we love metallic. We have lots of metallic threads. So here are some needles that you can use with that. We have the 80-12 and the 90-14. They have an elongated eye. That means the threads go through and they prevent shredding and breaking of metallic threads. I did take a course up at Wonderful once upon a time. And they did suggest for doing metallic threads is to run them off a thread stand because they're coiled and that has a bit of a memory in the thread. And so the more time that you can give the thread to enter into your sewing machine, go all the way around and down and into the needle, the better, because it will reduce breakage and, threads. I'm going to say threading, but it's shredding. All right, so those are metallic, and they're a must-have for sewing with sensitive metallic thread, okay? Love it. So this is great for decorating your bags and things. That would be fun. All right, what's next? Micro text sharps. Ooh, just from the same name of it, I would say these guys have a really sharp point. We have them in 70-10. 80-12 and 90-14. They're coated with the purple along the top, and they're very slim, acute point. Ooh, so it has a sharp angle to them. These are good for microfibers, polyester, silk foils, artificial leather, coated materials. The point is very thin, and it will create beautiful top stitching and perfectly straight stitches for quilting piecing when precision is paramount. I've sometimes used these when I'm piecing because it's, yeah, very good. All right, so those are the Microtech Sharp needles. Oh, you guys are such a good audience. I'll give you another joke because you're listening so well. What will reading sun jokes under the sun make you? Well read. Sorry, I know they're really bad. Okay, quilting needles. These are ones that I use all the time because, of course, we're quilting. They do a 7511 and a 9014. 7511 I use for my piecing because I tend to use 60 weight piecing thread, so it's a little finer. You don't lose as much on your stitch width, and when you do the actual pressing and stuff, it's thinner. You don't lose as much on your turn. And then of course there's the 9014, which I would use for doing all of the fabrics, and it tells me here that their points are slightly tapered to slightly rounded point, and it's great for piercing and machine quilting, allows for easier fabric penetration, and helps eliminate skipped stitches. So quilting needles, always a must. So yeah, I have a few that I love in my stock, you know, universals, metallics, jeans, embroidery, and quilting. Okay, one other one that we have is a top stitch, which I think are fun. Now, top stitch, I learned long ago when we did that class at Wonderful that top stitches were really good for thicker threads, things that you don't want fraying because their eyes are bigger. It's got an extra long eye. So these are good for top stitching, heavy, multiple, or poor quality threads. It won't wreck them. So you achieve a perfect straight line, even stitches, and they recommend using a straight stitch plate for these ones, but they're great. 8012, 9014s, and 116. So these are my favorite needles. There's probably a few more out there like stretch, quick threading, gold embroidery, double eye, and hem stitch, where that wing where they get fat. Anyways, these are my favorite needles. And just to keep us honest, in my half price rummage sale, I have a sort and store, and this is for needles. There's a lot. Sharps. I think these are for hand needles, but I don't see why you can't use this guy to keep your needles in. You just change the names on here. Anyways, it's half price in the rummage sale, so something to keep your needles in. All right, I'm going to come back to top and talk to you for a second while I clear away my needles and get out my second part of the show. And I will tell you one more joke while I'm cleaning up. What did the old astronomer do when they get so tired of waiting for sundown? Well, they called it a day. That's right. I have to tell you, this morning I was looking at Facebook and whatnot, and they asked me to do a personality quiz. And I thought, oh, a personality quiz. Okay. So they lead you through a series of questions, you answer them and all that sort of stuff. And then at the end, it tells you what your personality is. Well, I thought for sure I would fail the personality test because I have so many multiple personalities. But instead, it told me that I'm an autumn. And I got starting to think about that. Well, I like all seasons. I'm good with having a personality for all seasons. But the only thing was, I think it was a US one because it asked me about Memorial Day, July 4th, New Year's, and Thanksgiving. So of all of those, Thanksgiving's my favorite. So I ended up having an autumn personality. So my personality is called Autumn. I don't know. You maybe want to check out your Facebook and see what personality you have. All right, tops. Here we go. Back to the top, and let me look at thread. Woohoo! So not too long ago, we did a set of classes called Let's Get Threaducated, and Wonderful was kind enough to come in and do some classes. Threaducation 101, Lightweight Legends, Heavyweight Heroes, Surface Design Threads, and Mastering Metallic Threads. So these are all of the threads that I shouldn't say all, a lot of the threads that Wonderful uses. And they also have a great thread dispenser where you can put your thread and help wind off, especially when you don't want them to run horizontally. You want them to be vertical, and that way they thread without pooling. So anyways, this is our little gadget called the Ultimate Thread Dispenser. So I also use a standalone stand behind my machine, and then I can use all of these threads. I can use big cones of thread if I'm using embroidery OESD thread, and it works really great. Now, there is a dress product called Sewer's Aid, which thread conditions, and it helps prevent breakage by the fabric or by needle friction heat. And it's a silicone-based liquid, and you just apply a drops directly onto your thread on the spool, 1 or 2 drops, and distribute it evenly on both sides, so kind of coat it. And that is called Sewer's Aid, so that keeps it conditioned. And of course, Miss Pin Cushion couldn't leave you without telling you that we need pin cushions too. I mean, we're sewing. You could use this pin cushion to keep your needles in. You can do it for your hand needles or your pins you're using for sewing. I just thought I'd throw that in there because I'm Miss Pin Cushion and need to have a pin cushion. All right. Woohoo! You guys are an awesome audience. Thank you for listening to all those needles and thread explanations and things. So now I want to thrill you with some sales that are going on. And I have to tell you that this next sale ends on Saturday, May 31st. And it is the Brothers Stitch Print and Gift Made with Love 2025 gift guide. And I look through here, and there's sublimation printers, there's scan and cuts, there's print moda, there's entry-level sewing machines, there are bigger sewing machines, there are gigantic sewing machines, there's even one called the Avenir in here. So there's lots of different things on sale, both sewing and embroidery. And they tell you to please remember that there is that wonderful app out there, a free creative app from Brother called Artspira. So if you want to do that, it also hooks wirelessly to any of your wirelessly enabled embroidery machines and craft printers and scan and cut. So that's only till Saturday, and then that's over. And I haven't heard about any new sales coming up for Brother. So that's it till Saturday, and then I don't know what's happening after that. Something else that ends on Saturday is the Bernina Foot of the Month. It is the 52, 52C, 52D, which is their zigzag non-stitch foot. So if you're interested in that, that is 25% off right up to close on Saturday, May 31st. Hi, Lana. I see someone else scanned in this morning. Hi, Lana. And hello to whoever's over on Facebook, because I managed to cover up your comment section. So hello. Then, of course, those ends on Saturday, but the Bernina Best Price of the Year sale is on. I've talked about this before, and they have some marvelous sales on the sewing and embroidery machines, the B770QE Plus, the B590E, the 790 Pro E. Oh my goodness. And so sewing and embroidery and those long arms. And then they have some brunette ones on sale. And then they have some embroidery modules. And they have, I believe also they had the big books on sale as well. So, but that sale runs all the way through June into the first part of July, July 6th. So we got lots of time to shop. But come on in and see what we have. We will sell it to you, and then we can order it if we don't have it. So never fear, we'll find that for you. Now, what else do I want to tell you? Ooh, look ahead just a little bit. Are you ready? Anne tells me that the new batch of Conum fabric coming in, I'm sorry, has a price increase on it. So very shortly, in the first part of June, Kona Fabric Solids, will be going up. They are $15 a meter right now, but that price will increase. So just wanted to put a heads out there. If you need any of those Kona solids, now's a good time to get them. As I say, the new batch is coming and it will have a price increase with it. So please come shop. Woohoo! All right, what else? Looking forward to Giving Tuesday, next Tuesday, the 3rd. So Powerful Purses group get together and do some volunteer work at the store. If you'd wish to join them, give us a call. We can register you and get a table for you. It is free of charge. Starts at 10:30 in the morning and goes till 4:30. And I won't even mention Brother New Owner Sewing class because it's full. There is still room in the Brother New Owners Embroidery class for Saturday, June 7th, if you wish to do that. And I have 2 more things. Yesterday, we did a little ad for the Hello Pumpkin. It's the new Kimberbell event coming up. Thought I better get it out there because it's going to start in July 18th. It's a 1-day event. We're going to make an acorn plushie, pumpkin jar wrap, and a Hello Pumpkin screen, which is new. I've never tried making screens, but I've heard people talking about embroidery on screening. So that could be really interesting. Anyways, that's going on July 18th. It's 1 day, as I say. The doors event starts at 9:30, runs till 4, and of course we'll be here early to let you in. And for that 1 day, for those 3 projects you do, it's $149 plus tax. So give us a call at the store, My Sewing Room, 403-252-3711. Thank you for joining up, Loanne. I saw you did that yesterday. Thank you. So you must have seen my commercial. Anyways, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Last thing I want to talk about before I turn off is our Mystery 50 Facebook group that we've got going on. We are running a mini mystery called Starlight Mini Mystery. If you'd like to participate, all you've got to do is go to our website, mysewingroom.ca, and that one does not a deal. It's just our regular home screen page. Go to the banner at the top, find classes, click on the down menu, and check out Mystery 50. Anyways, Mystery 50 is about a lovely lady named Laura Langston, who is an FBI agent, and she's coming to a turning point in her life. And she's going to be sewing with us a block called Starlight. And giving us clues and telling us how her life's going. If you click on that link, it leads you to the Mystery 50 My Sewing Room page for Facebook, and you can join us. You fill in your invitation and please answer all 4 questions. Ship it off, and Miss Ann will go check, 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 and you're in. Once you get into our Mystery 50 Facebook group, boy, that's hard to say, then you can read about all of the background information on Laura Langston. I believe that we talk about on there as well what you need to participate. My Sewing Room made curated bundles, but if you're using your own fabric, there is a lady that comes from the original Mystery 50 that talks about the 6 fabrics that you need, what they are, and how to select your own fabric. So that's on the Facebook. Also, all of the clues will be given on that Facebook page. So you need to join the Facebook page. Now, I have people who have joined the Facebook page, but they really don't have Facebook at home and don't really want to sew alone. So we have a special a Starlight mini mystery sew along. Woohoo! Sandy Lock Holmes will be leading that. We have 16 spots available. Part of them are already filled, but it's going on Saturday, May 31st. We're going to have a sew along, so you bring all of your sewing machines, with all your stuff that you need, your fabric, and we're going to do it in the classroom on Saturday morning and sew together and see what our blocks turn out like. So the doors will open on Saturday at 8:30 in the morning. I'll keep them open until about 10 to 9, and then we're going to have to make sure we're all set up. We'll get to grab our coffee and our little treat, and then we start getting messages from Facebook. So we get, first thing we do is get a document that tells us what we're doing, and that will be, if you're one of the ones that comes into the sew along, we'll print that document for you and we can work on it, and then the clues start coming. And we sew until we get to the end of that block. So if you want to be part of that process, give us a call at the store, My Sewing Room, 403-252-3711, and we'll get you a table secured. It's $5 plus tax, and we'll make sure that you got a spot, okay? The other thing is, if you are doing it at home on your Facebook, have a good time. I don't know if we put out a supply list for on the group page, but I have Jessie did send it out to all of the people that are already enrolled. So if you get enrolled, remind us that we need to send you that link to the page, or send you the page is what I should say. So I do suggest that you have 6 fat quarters and use that video to help you curate what you want, or get one of our curated bundles. They are numbered and ready to go. You need a sewing machine in good working order. So clean it up a little bit, oil it if you need to, put in a new needle. Okay, make sure all the power cords and plugs and all your foot pedals and everything's working, because I got Harrison here for teching, but he's going to be busy in the thing, and it's just me, and I'm not a very good tech. Well, I tech some, but not that much. Anyway, so make sure it's in good working order. The other thing you're going to need, of course, is piecing thread. I recommend 60 weight, but if you've got 50, great, go right ahead. Wind a bobbin, pre-wind your bobbin so you're ready to go. So piecing thread, wind your bobbin. Then, of course, we're going to need our mats, rotary cutter, maybe put a new blade in, ready to go. We might need a ruler. I do not know if we're going to need a square to square up, but you could throw some in your bag, because I'm not sure how big these pieces are that we're putting together. The whole entire thing when we're done is 21 by 21 inches, okay? So we're just going to be doing the top, right? We're just going to be piecing the top on Saturday. All right, what else do you need? You need, of course, comfy clothes, comfy shoes. You need sewing kit. So if you have extra needles, an extra bobbin just in case, extra rotary cutter, pair of scissors, pins or wonder clips, whatever you use, a marking pencil, measuring tape, anything that you would think that you might need when you sit down to quilt a block. Put it in your sewing kit and bring it along. All right. Okay, so please do sign up for our sew along, and we'll be here at 8:30 on Saturday to let you in. I'm so excited. I've already started decorating the classroom. We're not in the classroom right now because Anne has a class. Losing my voice here a little bit. But I've started decorating already. So, woo. All right, I'm very thrilled about it and very excited. I hope you enjoy the next few days. We're supposed to be having a heat wave, which we are, and I feel sorry for Saskatchewan and Manitoba, who are fighting really bad wildfires right now. Let's hope that they get a little bit of rain and no wind, and hope they get through that. But here in Alberta, we have some fires going on, so be careful out there with all of your lighted prod things, that could start fires. And in the meanwhile, in the city, please make sure you stay hydrated, sunscreen, all that stuff, because it's going to be a hot weekend. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you have time to enjoy it. And I will be back next Monday for Monday Minute. All right, everybody. Ta-ta. Till then. Bye-bye.